Hi guys, my name is Akrizi and this is the Movie Critic. Of all the things that could have been said about this movie on its movie review, the title is such an headache actually. Whatever this movie is called, it has Godzilla and Kong in the title and X in between them. And then the New Empire as the subtitle. A lot of people, both the Godzilla fans and the Kong fans, have been debating this title for months now. And the director of the last Godzilla movie, the Godzilla vs. Kong, Adam Wingard, has also been asked about it. It is just like the Fast and Furious movies, different Fast and Furious movies over the past couple of years with different titles. The title you will see on the trailer would definitely be different from the one you see on the poster. The movie has a different title and we eventually just call the movie whatever name we see fit. If you've seen the movie, I'd like to, see your thoughts and your opinions in the comment box below. To those who haven't, watch out, and I hope this review gives you an insight of what to expect without spoiling the movie for you. Don't forget to subscribe. In this latest installment of the Monsterverse, Kong and Godzilla go against a really deadly threat that threatened the extinction of their species and our own as well, as diving into the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond. This movie is, such a blessing and a curse. It's giving mixed feelings actually, setting both a positive vibe and a negative vibe. It is giving a positive vibe and blessings because it is coming right after Godzilla -1 was released and wowed audiences around the globe because it became the first Godzilla movie ever to win an Academy Award. And it is also, giving a negative vibe and a curse because it's coming out right after Godzilla -1 got released, and for winning the Academy Awards, a lot of people, basically all audiences who watch the two movies, will definitely compare. It is unavoidable at this point in time, but it is not good, to be sincere, for real, because Godzilla -1 is arguably the best Godzilla movie ever made. I hope you guys agree with me. In case you are wondering, the Godzilla -1 were made by the Japanese and they did absolutely incredibly well. That can be said for their American counterparts. It seems like the American Godzilla, were not even trying to put in work at all. I've seen a couple of Godzilla movies over the past couple of years, and just so you know, the Godzilla have been on our screens since the 1950s, and of course, different era of Godzilla have different feels, and of course, we can't have all seen all the Godzilla movies that ever existed. Some of us are way too young to have seen movies from 1950s. And there have been a couple of Godzilla vs. King Kong movies too. In fact, Godzilla vs. King Kong came out during the 2020 lockdown of the COVID. And due to lockdown and boredom, especially at the time when no new Hollywood were being released, especially in theaters and cinemas, the Godzilla vs. King Kong was really appreciated. I don't know if the same love and acceptance would have been given to this new one, which is not entirely fair. I don't think this movie is as good as Godzilla vs. King Kong, even though I haven't seen it in a while. It's about two monsters fighting and beating the shit out of each other, and I really enjoyed the movie. In regards to both the monsters and the characters, I feel like both of them are a little bit confused. The only place this movie works is the fight scenes. Seeing these two titans go up against each other every now and then and beating the shit out of each other will always make me, will always take me back down memory lane to my, childhood days, seeing Godzilla, and of course the lockdown era of, COVID, and that is always what I've, always worked for me over the past couple of years that I've been, seeing different Godzilla movies. What doesn't work for me is the humans. It is always the human factor in both series, in both movies and reality. The humans are basic exposition factors for what the monsters are doing. They are like the WWE ringside commentators explaining what we can already see on the screen, saying the King Kong just did so and so. The Godzilla is powering up. What will be his next move? Blah 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 blah. This and that. And all that. The only exception to this is Rebecca's relationship with her adoptive daughter, who we met in Godzilla vs. Kong. They were trying to bond, but the language barrier with sign is such a big stumbling block for them. I think this is the biggest part of the movie where humanity was a 10. All other parts of the movie are just monsters fighting. Dan Steven was such a good character also. he plays a role of something I can call the veterinarian to the Monsterverse. This is, of course, a reunion between him and Adam Wingard in the movie The Guest. The movie sort of starts on a slow note because they were trying so hard to tell a lot of stories and reminisce about a lot of things that has happened in the past. The movie picked up steam and heat when they got to the Hollow Earth, and it started feeling like a summer blockbuster that is meant to be. In Hollow Earth, there are ruins, temples, and a lot more. There's a lot of adventures and puzzles they have to solve to find hidden passageways. They explored about the Hollow Earth ecosystem and the creatures that make up of it. These are one of the fun parts that can't be overemphasized. All these things were learned not just because a lot of characters were talking about it, but because Brian Tyree Henry's character is filming a documentary while he is there, because people were in disbelief about the things he saw in the last movie. So he needed to gather evidence to show them. Unlike most Godzilla and King Kong movies, the movie is different in the aspect of fight and communication. Other past Godzilla and Kong movies have always struggled between more humans, less monsters, or more monsters and less humans. It's been really confusing over the years. These, however, sort of have more fight scenes between and among the monsters, and there are dialogues and communication between the monsters without the humans in play. The worst part about Hollow Earth is that when you get to see these monsters, you can't get a hold of their size. You can't really determine how big they are unless you compare. You can't be sure how big they actually are. You only get to see them with buildings, mountains, people, or big structures to understand just how gigantic they are, because you'd never know how big they truly are. They look really, really small without comparison. There's a scene where King Kong was walking past the skeleton of a very, very gigantic creature, and Kong looked really, really small compared to it. A skeleton that could be dwarfing Kong easily like that is such a really big thing, and it makes me wonder what other creatures lives or once lived in Hollow Earth. That was a particular scene in the trailer, so I wouldn't say this was a spoiler, per se. There was a scene where Kong needs like an apparatus, kind of, to be put on his arm, and getting that thing to him to and fro felt like magic, or should I say teleportation, because I honestly don't know how the character who got that to him actually did seamlessly. There are lots of people dying in this movie as well. Of course, there are countless people that died, people that trying to run for their dear lives. A lot of people died in this movie, and the fight scenes were intense. I mean, this is why we are here. This is what we paid for. A lot of fight scenes, man, and it was really, really crazy. I mean, two giants going against each other toe to toe is really crazy. That's why we are here, isn't it? A lot of monster fights happened for a very, very, very long time, and that is really the fun part for me. These fights brought memories of childhood, and just like I've said, the Godzilla movies, the King Kong movies that we've seen over the past couple of years in the early 20s, in early 2000s, early 2010s, and the likes. And of course, it brought back memories from the COVID era of the year 2020, lockdown, because there are no cinemas, no theaters, but that actually held us down, through the lockdown. And it made me realize how long Godzilla and King Kong movies have been coming. I'm not saying this movie doesn't actually have a replay value, but I don't really see the need to watch it again, unless I go and I have to go on a movie date with someone who haven't seen the movie, or I have to see it again by chance. Probably the boys actually seen it and I'm there, but I wouldn't still pay much attention to it because it's basically the boys seen the movie. But I really don't have a valid reason to go see the movie again. The movie is, I'd rate it a 6/10. A 6/10, which is really, really not bad. I hope you guys see it real soon to have fun and enjoy yourself. Thank you for sticking by. If you've seen the movie, I'd like to hear your thoughts, and your opinions in the comment box below. To those who haven't, watch out, and I hope this review give you an insight of what to expect without spoiling the movie for you. I also hope you subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost a penny. Till next time.